So to start the application, the best way to approach this is to build a data model. While we could build a prototype user interface without it, it does make it a lot easier in the long run to have the data ready to place inside the view. So we'll go to File, New, and File. And we're looking for a Swift file. I'll call it data model and create. Now I'm also going to import Swift UI. This is so we can have a color theme to each piggy bank. I thought it'd be a nice additional feature to this application. So we'll start with a class called piggy bank, which will be an observable object. This is so that when the values change inside of the piggy bank, the screen will also update with those corresponding values. So first we need a ID, which will equal UID, and that's universal unique identifier. And that'll be identifying string that will ensure that when we loop through each of the piggy banks, the application knows which piggy bank is which. Then we'll have at published var goal name will be a string, and we won't give it a default value. We'll give the default value inside the initializer. At published indicates that when the value of goal name changes, the screen also updates. At published var savings amount, savings goal will be a double. At published var coins, these are the coins that we are collecting, and that's going to equal an empty array of double. Now we're not going to do a initializer for this, mainly because when we create a piggy bank, we're going to assume that there's no coins in there when it starts. And finally, at published var color will be a color, and again we'll initialize that. So onto our initializer, init goal name will be a string which equals empty, an empty string. Savings goal will be a double, which starting off will give it a value of 0, and color will be a color which equals, actually we won't give it a default value, we'll ensure that we have to create a color when we're initializing this object. Self.goalName will equal goal name. That's referring to goal name in the class itself. So self.goalName is that goal name there, whereas the goal name that we are setting it to is the goal name from the initializer. So these two are connected. Self.goalName refers to this goal name inside the class itself. Self.savingsGoal will equal the savings goal that we enter from the initializer. And self.color will equal color. Now we use the same names here for no other reason than consistency and ease of remembering what values go with what. So moving on to the calculated values inside of this class, we're going to have a value for the total amount that is being saved inside this money box. That will piggy bank, and that's where we add up all the values for the coins. So var total will be a double. We've got two squiggly brackets allowing us to do some calculations. We'll start with a variable called savings, which will equal 0.0. That will default to a double due to the type inferencing. So because it's 0.0, it assumes automatically, Swift will assume it's going to be a double. So for the coin in the coins array, so for each coin inside the coin array or coins array, savings plus equals the coin value. When that is looped through all the available coins and add them to the savings, we'll return back the savings, and that will therefore be the total that is displayed on the screen. Next, we're going to create a percentage. So var percentage will be a CG float. Now we're making a CG float due to the fact that I don't need to. iOS 15. iOS 15 says that we don't actually need to make a CG float. We can actually leave it as a double, and they are now interchangeable. So a double has got the same properties as CG float for our views. So we'll return the total amount that we've saved divided by the savings goal, and that will give us a decimal number. So if it's a $50 goal and we've saved 25 divided by 50 is 0.5. That is halfway. 0.5 will be our percentage that can be placed into our view and used inside of our view. So that should do it. We can now move on to the interface and start building our content view.